First of all, you started the introduction wrong. This is how you gotta start the introduction. Hey everybody, welcome to the Chris Colbert Show. This is the primetime show on ProBox.
Welcome into the Big Fight Breakdown here on ProBox TV. Download the ProBox TV app. Never fall behind in your boxing news. It's also the best way to watch the big fight, which is our big fight, October 9th. That's right. The main event is going to be Chris Colbert versus OMAR SALCIDO in our main event. It's going to be a banger. To help me break it down, Jimmy Smith in studio with Chris Algieri. Joining us via Zoom is the champ, Paulie Malignaggi, and also joining us to give us his thoughts on the main event, Chris Colbert himself. How you doing, my man? Thank you so much for joining us. First question, how does everything feel? We're about 2 weeks out. How's the energy? How's the training going?
Training been First of all, you started the introduction wrong. This is how you gotta start the introduction. Hey everybody, welcome to the Chris Colbert Show. This is the primetime show on ProBox.
Primetime show here on ProBox TV, and now we are joined by primetime Chris Colbert. Please go ahead.
I like that one. I like that. Sounded good. But training camp been going good. You know, a lot of ups and downs in life, but I feel like I'm just at this point where God gave me everything I wanted, and then He took it back, and then now it's time. He just put a roadblock out there to make me work for it back again to see if I really want it. So now I'm just working for what I want at this point.
Champ, do you think it's maybe something now you might appreciate better the second time around if you're able to re-achieve those levels you were at in your career? And are we going to see the primetime? Are we going to see the primetime show on October 9th? Because that's where the real primetime show is scheduled to appear.
Yeah, for sure. I want to go back to my basics, stick to what I was doing. Punching and moving and being the slick guy that you can't catch, the guy that you see, then he disappear. So that's the plan coming for, what is it, October 9th? Yeah, October 9th. It's kind of weird. I never fought on a weekday, but hey, I don't care what day it is. The job got to get done. Only thing I'm mad about is that I thought I wasn't going to be the main event because I wanted to get in and get out. Like, I don't know. I don't know if it's just me, but I like being the main event, but I don't like being the main event at the same time. Because that weight, I don't get nervous or nothing. I don't be anxious or nothing until the day of the fight.
You just want to get in.
Well, the good thing, prime time, even though you said you never fought on weekdays, our shows are pretty early. So you're not going to have to wait that long. You're going to be in the ring pretty early that night. How familiar are you with ProBox TV and the types of fights that we put on up until this point? So you know these fights are fights. We got everybody comes to fight. It's a great platform. Tell me about your opponent. What do you know about him?
I know he got 2 legs, 2 arms. and I won't be missing too much that night. But you know me. If y'all know me, y'all know my resume. Check it out. I don't like nothing that's going to be not a challenge because I'm in this game for the legacy. Obviously the money too, because without the money, respectfully, I don't think nobody would really want to do this. We all stay amateur for that case, right? But I like to take fights that's going to add on to my legacy. Me coming off a big knockout loss, everybody was probably expecting me to come back and fight a journeyman. They offered me a couple of them and I turned them down because that's not gonna make me better. It don't get me off the couch. Like, it's not gonna motivate me to really want to go in there and really go through a 9 to 10 week training camp and train for a fight just to fight somebody and then go in there and start them real quick. It don't motivate me. So I told him, like, give me a dog, give me somebody. We supposed to fight some guy from Florida. He's from Orlando, actually. I forgot his name. But he's a good fighter too. They offered me a couple of good guys. They offered me to fight the guy that's in I think he's in a co-main event. He's like Colombia. China. I don't even know where he's from now.
The Thai fight. Is he Thai? No, he's
I don't know where he's from. I know he's undefeated. He turned me down. So it's just like I'm in this for the legacy. You feel me?
Chris, how do you build back on that legacy? Are we going to see the old Chris Colbert, the moving slick Chris Colbert? Is that what you've been working on in the gym? And how do we know? How do we know that you can get back to that after that knockout loss? What is the mindset?
Oh no, but the knockout loss was only on me. It wasn't on him. He didn't even know he would do that. He didn't even.
That's what
have
I'm
that
saying. But that's what I'm saying, Chris. You were laying on the ropes way too much that fight. Is that something, a habit that was just you being lazy and underestimating opponents, or is that something that your legs are not the same? That's what we want to see. Are you training like that again, like the old Chris Colbert?
My legs are always there. You know what it was, right? So the first fight I fought him, right? He kept thumbing me in my eye. Boom. Like he'd throw the left hand and would thumb me in my eye. So every time he hit me, I would tight shell and just hold on so I could catch my vision. He didn't start teeing off, as y'all seen in the fight, right? And then when I get my vision back, I start going to work on him. So my plan was to pressure him, make him work the body, and make him slow down because I know he's gonna slow down. He caught me so early in the first round. In the last, as soon as he hit me, I said, "Oh yeah, I'm going back at 30." The first punch he threw, overhand left, hit my glove. He didn't even hit me. I said, "Yeah." Once he hit me with that, I said, "Yeah, I got to go back down to 30 because it's too strong." I realized I already knew. I made my decision.
He's Chris. He's a 140-pound fighter champion now. He's a 140-pound world champion now. So obviously, you see how big he was.
That's how you know he's big. Yes. I realized how big he was when I stand in front of him when I went in the way in the second fight. I'm looking up. I said, "Damn, this guy big." I'm like, "Yeah, nah. You got to be smart tomorrow." But he caught me so fast early in the first round. It was like I really never really like fully recovered. But I'm a dog. Like I said, I'm gonna just go in there and fight. And in that round when he knocked me out, I went to go pull back. No, I went to go step back, but my body wasn't reacting. I think my body didn't react. I don't know what it was, whatever the case may be. So I try to pull back. But the number one rule of boxing is what? Don't pull back with your hands down, right?
Especially on the ropes.
And that's exactly what I did.
So what did you do?
Straight up.
Your only 2 losses to world champions. What does it say about your level and what you want to show the fans October 9th?
You want to know what's crazy? I was really just thinking about that yesterday. Actually, yesterday, I said, "Damn, my only 2 losses is to people that became world champions right after me." Yeah. Crazy.
But it goes to show you how close you are, Chris.
Yeah, you've been right there for years.
It's crazy that because they really can't beat me when I'm me. I don't make no excuses. I never made an excuse. You never hear me make an excuse.
Are we going to see you then? If you not being you is on you, Chris.
Yeah, that's all on me. All on me. Because at the end of the day,
Chris,
they could just give me
even your coach your last fight. Even your coach Sosa last fight was telling you stop being on those ropes. You know what I mean? He was telling you not to be on those ropes in the corner.
Yeah, that was all on me. That's why right after the fight, I apologized to my whole team. Like, damn, I'm sorry. I ain't listen. That was on me. Because he buzzed me a few times in the first fight. Not the knockdown. The knockdown didn't buzz me. But he buzzed me a couple times with the left hand. Like, so I'm like, let me stay close, smother his power, and work. The time I got to do that, he already clipped me the first round. So my goal is to be a 2-time world champion and maybe right off in the sunset because this game it's not really fun with you when it's business no more. Well, it's all about the business. You feel me?
Yeah, we feel you. We're looking forward to prime time October 9th, man. Great talking to you. Thank you for making time for us so close to the fight. We appreciate you.
Nah, I'm good. I love talking to my guys, Paulie, Chris Algieri. Nice to meet you too, because I never met you, but Paulie and Algieri, those are my guys.
You're gonna see all of us in 2 weeks, champ. See all of us.
I'm still waiting on Algieri to be my nutritionist, man. He gotta teach me how to eat right.
Get this guy down to 130.
Get you down to 130. We're looking forward to seeing you come down to Plain City and show out on October 9th.
Appreciate you, champ. Thank you so much for joining us, man.
Prime time. Let's go.
So, gentlemen, now that we discussed things with Chris Colbert, with prime time, he's not lacking in confidence, is he, Chris?
No, it's never been the case. He's saying Paulie and I have known Chris for many, many years, being in the New York area. Paulie even more so than myself because Chris really grew up in those gyms, bouncing around, literally like a little kid bouncing around all the gyms, going and then became a very, very good fighter himself. And he mentioned, his only 2 losses are to 2 guys that pretty much immediately went on to title fights and became champion. So it shows you the level that Primetime's been at for the majority of his career. Yeah, he took a couple losses, especially that last one was a real tough one. But now he's back. But he's not, like he said, I'm not back fighting journeymen. I'm back on Primetime fighting tough fighters. I only want those kind of guys so I can step up to that level, so I can go to training camp and put in the work. And he's got a tough fight in front of him on our show, of course, because all of our fights on ProBox are tough.
What do you want to see, Paul? You said, will we see the old Primetime? Will we see that old style? Is it that defensiveness, that slickness? Do you want to see that early in the fight?
Yeah, I want to see him, the old Chris Colbert, that he was hungry and boxing very smart, and boxing with his athleticism and natural ability, and the cerebral Chris Colbert. There was a time in Chris Colbert's career where he was very, very cerebral. So he has that in his mind, in his head. If he can physically bring that back, I don't know, though. He says it's still there. I'm not sure if it's still there, because I feel like we would have seen it in the last fight. But let's see. He was a little bit lazy in the last fight. Maybe it was just mental laziness. If we can see back that moving Chris Colbert, that set traps Chris Colbert, that athletic Chris Colbert, he'll be a handful to deal with.
I think also, Champ, it was a little bit of ego in that last fight, because that was a rematch of a very highly contested, controversial decision. He said he won. His opponent, about RAYO, said that he won the fight, and there was a lot of talk going on back and forth. They bet each other in the rematch who was going to win. So I think there was a lot of ego involved. And he said, I'm just going to back this guy up from the beginning, but RAYO can punch, obviously, and we saw that. And I think, like you said, he got hurt early, he never really recovered. The size disparities were real. Colbert's the guy who wants to go down to 30. RAYO is the guy who's on his way to 140. Listen, he could punch at 42, so the size disparity was definitely there. So yeah, I agree with you, Champ. But definitely not the smartest game plan, but I think a lot of it had to do with ego, maybe not so much ability anymore.
Now, if you look at his opponent, OMAR SALCIDO, his only loss was on ProBox TV. Also his debut in the U.S. A lot of people go into ProBox TV and they don't realize how hard those guys fight. He has won one since then, but how much do you put that down? We look at that SALCIDO's record, 19-1, that one loss at ProBox. Paulie, a lot of people, first fight in the States, first fight at ProBox, the lights kind of get to you a little bit. He's fought once in America since then. Do you think it may have been nerves in that one?
It could be, it could be, or it could just be, the step up of ProBox. ProBox TV for a lot of guys is a step up they haven't yet had in their career, so it's sort of let's see where you're really at point in your career when you step on ProBox. Unless you're a guy who's coming back on the way down, looking to get back up there, then those kind of guys, sure, they understand more of the levels. But sometimes, like a guy like SALCIDO, he was, a little bit outgunned in this fight, but it was also the kind of step up where, you find out what you're made of. You find out, that, okay, I'm tough enough, or maybe I need to work on some things tactically. That sort of seems where SALCIDO was in that fight. So we'll see if there's an adjustments that have been made against Colbert, because Colbert also can fight out of the southpaw stance.
When you look at that, the physical pressure, that was the difficulty, of course, in the loss of Valenzuela. Do you think it's going to be one of those things where SALCIDO, another Mexican fighter, is going to bring that physical pressure to Colbert?
Well, there's a really important point that we haven't really talked about, is that you mentioned that he's had a win since his first loss, his lone loss on ProBox TV. He fought Luis Coria in his last fight. Luis Coria is tough as hell. He's been a journeyman / gatekeeper used on the top rank undercards for a long time for all of their prospects coming up. He knocks some of them off. He gives all of them a hell of a fight. And he was able to get past him, which shows me that he's on the level. And possibly, like you said, Jimmy, maybe it was a nerves thing that first fight. Or you said, Champ, maybe it was just the level to deal with the fighter that he was fighting to step up against Nunes, who boxed well that night. So we're going to see how much he learned from that experience. Because if he's coming off a good win against a guy like Coria, he's going to be in prime position to put on a good performance.
Are we going to see that? Same question for you in a sense, Paulie. Is it going to be a matter of slickness and defense versus the physical pressure, almost the typical Mexican style? Is he going to have to bring that, SALCIDO?
I think so. SALCIDO only brings that. I don't think there's anything else SALCIDO can bring. He brings pressure. He's tactically a good fighter from a technical standpoint. Good balance, good precision on his punches, good technique. But he's not super fast, and he doesn't bring a level of athleticism that we've seen Colbert bring at his best. So I think it'll be a little bit of a clash of styles. I don't think we'll see a Colbert. At least Colbert will attempt to box. I don't think Colbert will have that lazy mentality, knowing what's on the line now after that loss. But good clash of styles and a solid ProBox matchup.
How difficult is it, Chris, when someone had a defensive style? You say kind of cute, right? Good defense, good footwork. How tough is that to get back once they kind of get used to a little bit of laying on the ropes, a little bit less activity? Is it tough to get back in the gym or no?
It's all mentality, you know, and Primetime's the kind of guy, he's lived in the gym his whole life. He grew up in a gym. But, you know, kind of tucking that ego into your back pocket and going back to what made you, going to a style. You know, I always thought of him as being like a ghost. He's hard to hit, and he's not there. He's invisible. He stays behind you, cuts those angles. He hits you. He's athletic. He's fast. He's explosive. Had enough pop, you know, respectable pop. Not a knockout puncher, but definitely would put guys in their place at times, but then step around, make them miss, make them look bad. He needs to go back to that and not being this guy who's going to be, you know, high guard, walking you down, going punch for punch. He's got to use those feet. He's got to use that in and out pendulum, the ankles, that good, slick upper body movement. He's got all of that. He's got a very East Coast style when he was at his best. If he can utilize that, which he's going to need to in this fight, he goes head-to-head with this guy, it's going to be a long night. Like you said, Champ, this kid is tough. He's physically strong. He's got good technique. He's got a good record. He's got good, decent power. But this is going to be a clash of styles for sure. Colbert at his best has the footwork and speed, and then you got Salcido, who's going to be tough, durable, and powerful.
Had a question for you, Paulie. I don't know if you were on when he was talking about going to D.C. to get some work. We know how tough the sparring work is in D.C. right now. Is that a good move? You're maybe 2 weeks out to get hard sparring, or are you tapering down at this point? Very curious about that.
Sometimes it's time to taper off. I like to spar, you know, hard, difficult sparring even into the week of the fight. My trainers sometimes didn't want me to do that, but I would a lot of times talk my trainers into even letting me spar 4 really hard rounds on like the Monday of fight week if the fight was on a weekend, you know. I needed that intensity fresh in my mind so I could bring it into the fight, but everybody's different. I don't know, because the potential with that kind of dog sparring that you get in DC and LA and Philly sometimes is you go away from the basics, from which is your jab and your boxing, and you end up staying in pockets more or on the ropes more or just going toe to toe more. It becomes more of a pride thing. So as long as you have the right approach to your sparring, that's really a big key. I think because that mentality of the decision making you make in sparring, believe it or not, you know, sometimes guys think they're going to spar one way and fight a different way. Well, they'll be a little bit smarter. If you're not boxing smart in sparring, you're not going to box smart on fight night. If you're boxing too macho in sparring, now going too macho doesn't mean you're not sparring hard. You can spar intelligently and spar hard, but you know, if you're making wrong decisions in sparring just because you want to have ego, you're going to carry that into the fight. And it seems like that's what he did in the Valenzuela fight, where he was just laying on the ropes, thinking like Valenzuela was going to come against him and go, you know, head to head and just bang it out with him. Instead, Valenzuela knew how to set him up from the proper distance and get him out of there. So I don't mind the tough sparring even in the last 2 weeks personally, but it's got to be with the right approach.
Well, it's going to be a big fight October 9th on our air here, ProBox TV. Download the ProBox TV app. Check it out in the best format possible. Also, never fall behind in your boxing news. We'll be there before and after all the big fights. See you next time.
Wednesday Night Fights.
Dynamite action on Wednesday Night Fights every other Wednesday on your boxing channel.
Coming up on your next Wednesday Night Fights, October 9th. Chris, Primetime Colbert, and Omar Super Salcido step into the ring for what is sure to be a barn burner. Live from the ProBox Event Center in Plant City. Get your tickets at ProBoxTV.com or take your chances at the door. Wednesday Night Fights.
For more ProBox TV, scan the QR code on the screen or go to the App Store and Google Play. ProBox TV, your boxing channel.